Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you're interested in today's video. In late October, both Beijing and The Hague were buzzing with news surrounding Nexperia's management rights, export restrictions to China, and China's export controls on key materials. Companies and governments on both sides expressed their stances, some cautious, others firm. Consequently, those in the supply chain were most concerned about one thing: whether the goods would arrive on time. Let's first clarify the situation. Nexperia, headquartered in Nijmegen, the Netherlands, specializes in diodes and power devices. It was acquired by the Chinese company Wingitech Technology in 2019. Nexperia has wafer production in Europe and packaging, testing, and assembly facilities in China and Southeast Asia, forming a comprehensive global presence. These mergers and acquisitions were all registered back then, but now that the policy environment has changed, there are more variables. The facts are clear. In January 2024, ASML publicly announced that the Dutch government had revoked the export license for a small number of DUV lithography machines to China at the request of the United States, and that shipments of higher-end models to China will also tighten during the same period. China will gradually implement export controls on gallium, germanium, graphite, and rare earth-related technologies in 2023, with more detailed regulations. Simply put, this is a game of chess: you restrict my equipment, I control my materials. Both sides are playing chess, and neither can win without losing. This isn't the first time Europe has taken action against ASML. In 2022, the Netherlands launched a security review of ASML's acquisition of the local company Huawei. That same year, the UK required ASML to divest its Newport wafer fab. The result is slower approval processes and higher costs. Simply put, interfering with business decisions under the guise of security will eventually reflect risks in the market. Recently, there have been numerous reports online about ASML China employees' accounts being blocked and their salaries being affected. Timelines and details are still being compared and verified. Internal company letters and employee explanations have also been circulated, but official documents are scarce. In short, corporate governance is a matter of contracts and equity. It's best to review official announcements and court rulings. Online rhetoric cannot replace the final text. The Dutch Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Policy is responsible for investment review and export licensing. Media reports indicate they hope to communicate with China, which is a standard channel. Whether a meeting or negotiation will take place depends on the wording and arrangements released by both sides. In short, having a communication channel is a good thing, but don't make any decisions without a formal announcement. The automotive industry's concerns are understandable. European automakers use a large volume of power chips, with major suppliers including Nexperia, Infineon, and ST Microelectronics. Packaging is largely done in Asia, and materials are also sourced from China. In short, if a process gets stuck, production will be disrupted, but companies have inventory and alternatives, so production won't stop overnight. The impact will depend on how long it lasts. The Ministry of Commerce of China has repeatedly stated over the past year that it will safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese companies overseas in accordance with the law. Chinese courts, arbitration, and embassies and consulates have also handled rights protection cases. Similarly, companies can pursue various avenues, including arbitration, litigation, and negotiation. In short, anyone who touches assets will face legal constraints and market consequences. This red line is clear. The Netherlands also has its own calculations. ASML, the chemical industry, ports, and agriculture all have business with China, making China a key non-EU trading partner of the Netherlands. Furthermore, the Netherlands faces employment pressure in the manufacturing sector. Simply put, business must continue, and doors cannot be locked completely. Therefore, in reality, there is always room for negotiation. For the industry, the key issue is straightforward: can supply arrive on time? ASML will still be delivering mature models to China in 2024, and Chinese manufacturers are accelerating domestic substitution. Nexperia, Infineon, and ST Microelectronics are all expanding production of mature processors. Simply put, whoever has available production capacity has more leverage at the table. Nexperia's packaging and testing in China and wafer production in Europe are mutually complementary. This is public information. If one is out of sync, efficiency will decline on the other, leading to delivery fluctuations. Simply put, the market waits for no one. Orders and prices will provide feedback, which is more realistic than any slogan. Facing disputes, the most pragmatic approach is to thoroughly review legal, contractual, wage, delivery, and intellectual property rights. Disputes should be resolved through procedures, and problems should be addressed openly and honestly. Simply put, once procedures are in place, risks are manageable, and the outside world is more willing to continue cooperating. There are 3 key points to watch. First, will the Netherlands issue a formal review or interim measures against ASML? Second, will ASML's supply arrangements with its Chinese and European factories be adjusted? Third, will China update its export control list or licensing procedures? Simply put, once there are written documents, companies will be able to follow them, and public opinion will be less speculative. Another important point: the sooner the dialogue between the two sides begins, the better. For this reason, workers, drivers, and procurement personnel throughout the supply chain are awaiting clear instructions. Similarly, the longer the delay, the more likely uncontrollable losses will accumulate, which is unfavorable for anyone. Simply put, getting things done is more important than making promises. At 10 p.m., several trucks lined up at the logistics entrance of the ASML factory in Nijmegen. Drivers stared at loading instructions on their phones. Warehouse lights were on, and forklifts were scurrying back and forth. Will these trucks be shipped to Asia as planned next week, or will their destination be temporarily rerouted?